Buddy, I'm live. I just did 40 minutes on Facebook because YouTube, I tried to do a couple more lives. The first one went really good, ran over an hour and a half. I started another one, it got no views. I tried to share it in the community tab. It closed it, I restarted it. It had 1 view at 5 minutes in, and I just killed the stream. I'm like, there's no point sitting in YouTube for that low of views. So I'm like, I still need to do at least 25 more minutes in this walk. I'm like, let's give YouTube one more try and see if it'll kick people back in there. Maybe it was just because the other was so short after the long one. It just didn't want to go to anybody's feeds. Like it was, the first one went 15 minutes with no comments, no likes, 5 viewers. So let's see if we can get this flowing a little bit better. Maybe it'll have a little more luck here. Either way, I need to do something for this walk, something to stay entertained. And let's see what happens. Maybe we'll get it into someone's feed. But I think it was literally the case of it was not going to anybody's feed because there's no way it was that low. Like, because even my regulars were awake because they were in the first stream. Like, I ran like 92 minutes starting at 4:15 in the morning, and I had plenty of people. So I don't know what it's doing with the feed here. Could be that YouTube just thinks I'm putting up too much content, so I might need to scale back. And I put way more efforts into Facebook stuff that, you know, pays plenty. So might be the way to go, right? Might be the way to go and see if scaling back a hair actually boosts everything up. But that's going to mean a lot more Facebook lives. Well, I can still do the YouTube lives here, you know, for now. Hopefully, maybe they'll just flow with less total informative videos. Let's see, this is already better than the last 2 tried to do. We at least have 5 views at 2 minutes in. But we're definitely a cardio machine this morning because we are past 2.5 hours of total cardio. So keep the cut flowing. I'm gonna step my pace up a notch. Stay positive, stay focused, and see if that energy will carry over into the stream, getting people in here, getting comments. But yeah, coach got to be a cardio machine. Coach got to get lean, got to get mean. Coach got to get abs. And just accept that body weight needs to go down. We got to focus on the scale going down. And I know it hasn't moved. I think the creatine, I think the salts were definitely a big issue. So I'm hoping a couple days taking the salt down to a healthy amount will still keep me hydrated. It looks like, I think the creatine literally put water on me this time. So that was interesting because I didn't lose any weight since I added creatine in, even though I know I'm in a deficit. Peppermint, what's going on? How did you guys, no one was in the first ones. Peppermint, it wouldn't go to anybody's feeds. I tried to do a second one. I ran 15 minutes. It only got up to 5 viewers. No likes, no comments. I tried to share it. It killed the stream. I restarted it. It was at 1 view at 5 minutes. So I went to YouTube. I went to Facebook for 40 minutes. I just refreshed the tubes and it popped up. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't, the next one I did, it wouldn't go to anybody's feed. I didn't have a single like or comment at 15 minutes. Jama says, bro, what's up, dude? How you doing, man? Glad to see people in here. Instead of typing just bro, you could also give me a like, brother. Let's get this stream flowing. Let's get some real cardio done. Let's see if we can get this one lively enough that I do bonus cardio on my second walk. Because I'm already past the hour in the second walk. We had 92 minutes on the first one. I started this one at 6:30, at 7:30, now 7:40. But I'm going to see if we can push this out. But we're here now. I don't know what happened, Peppermint. There's a point, though, when I'm doing this many hours, I can afford a bad stream in the middle. Because I think the Facebook will do good. One of my regulars came in, who's a bodybuilder, and he posted like 20 comments in my Facebook one, so it'll kick people's stuff later. But we got to get this up and flowing. But you're right, you're in here now. We're in here, we're good. We got people in. So let's get some comments. But I was trying to say in the others, I'm going to keep these on topic. I feel like at this point, cutting out the non-fitness stuff, just get rid of it. Because I need all my YouTube stuff. If I had never discussed anything but fitness, I wouldn't even have problems on YouTube, I think, half time. So let's just stick to fitness, nothing but fitness, because that's all this channel needs to be about, right? Especially as I promote more and more longevity. And it's like I was saying on the other thing, I'm kind of at a point where if we're going to promote real fitness, right, we really need to be pushing those classic physiques more. And that means pushing away from the crazy drug look in general, right? So, and I'm seeing more of it on some platforms, some really successful people. They don't have extreme physiques, but they're promoting fitness. Kind of like a lot of us who are serious fitness guys, we go, I wouldn't want to be that small. But I'm like, they're not really small. They're just not on a bunch of drugs, you know? And I think we're losing sight of that, right? And I look at that and realize, man, I could still have a better physique than those guys just trimming down, especially if I bring my arms up a little. So why not? But, you know, I may go all the way down to 185, but let's just run with it and just keep losing body fat. But I'm realizing too, if I just bring up my weak links a little, when I saw, again, I look at that community tab, I see where my lower back is and my V-taper size. I'm like, if I just lose another 20 pounds of fat, what's my waist to shoulder ratio going to look like there? I'll be in a good place. I can promote that sort of physique I'm talking about at that point. I do got to bring the arms up more, you know. Arms, probably my rear delts, but I can get pullovers and pull-ups for the rear delts, right? That's where I need to go. Because also the same thing, I'm worried about my shoulders. I'm like, no, I just got to get leaner. Because I can see from my deadlift footage and then the dips when I'm turning around, my shoulders are good. I need rear delts bigger, more arm, lose fat, will be good. Should I deadlift on back day or leg day? How important are deadlifts if I want to get stronger? Okay, multiple questions there, Felt. So if you're doing separate back and leg days, I'd say you could pick whichever one you want. If you do it on a leg day, do it after you squat. If you choose to do it on a back day, do it first. You know, I program it both ways for clients who do that type of split. I'm currently doing a full body, so I just do all of it. But as far as even like my push-pull legs type people or body part split people, you can work it in either one, honestly. Where do you feel most recovered with it? Work it in there, okay? Number two, and how important are deadlifts if you want to get stronger, progress? I think they're critical. Okay, do not listen to these evidence-based clowns talking about the deadlift. So again, I was just talking about that on Facebook. Look at the classic physiques. Go back to those silver era, bronze era, and even golden era bodybuilders. How many of them had big deadlifts? All of them. So when you look at that historically, that classic look, having a deadlift was important to them. They all knew it. Reg Park had a 700-pound deadlift. Arnold Schwarzenegger had like a 670 deadlift. Branko Colombo had over a 700-pound deadlift. Okay, so we're going back to that era. How important was it to their back development? For a complete back, I feel like it's a big deal. I feel like pull-ups, I'm not saying rows are not amazing. I love rows. I think rows are a very big exercise. But really, look at a lot of those guys. Man, getting really strong at pull-ups and deadlifts worked wonders, especially when they started working pullovers and stuff in too, for just creating that full back look. Plus the posterior chain in, right? I saw my friend Matt Griffith. He's a strength coach with a master's in sports science from the UK. He's also a big athlete there. I met him in powerlifting meets, coached with him. He helped me get certified for my, what's it called? He was one of the people helping instruct me to get me certified to be a meat judge, right? And I've seen him point that out. He's like, why are people forgetting that in all these studies, if you look at real research, posterior chain development off a normal conventional deadlift is great. Like, people are science deniers who are saying that. So yeah, I mean, deadlifts are really important, especially on the strength end. There's no exercise that's going to do more for your strength than deadlift, brother. So yeah, You need to push it. So strength, but in the same thing, you look at those physiques, look at those classic physiques, man. Look at their backs. They were all strong at pull-ups. They were all strong at deadlifts. Coach, would you ever consider being a meat judge? I don't have time. I like it. I don't have the time. I literally don't have the time and stuff going on in my life right now. One day, yes. Hey, you're welcome, Felt. Hey, Andre, don't start in with anything sexual. You guys know the rules. We don't give any warnings anymore. Any pew-pew talk, you're out. Anything racist, you're out. Anything sexually explicit is auto-banned with no warnings. And I have to follow that. It kills my algorithm and my money if I don't ban people for it. So just an FYI. But you can call me daddy, that's okay. Just giving fair warning to people. So, but yeah, Felt, so man, take that advice, run with it, brother. I'm gonna push more of this classic physique stuff. That's gonna be a big part of what I push with all this. And I don't mean the classic division in the IPB. I'm talking looking back and telling people, if the whole fitness world looked like Steve Reeves up to about Reg Park, it would have more mainstream appeal. More people would be interested in loving it. The same thing for dudes who are over here thinking they're gonna get in shape for girls. Like, you don't think those physiques are gonna be better than what these bodybuilders look like right now? Come on. Nobody cares about vegan gains. Get out of here with that. Nobody cares. Next. So, I'm gonna push more of that along with the whole health thing, and then saying that, hey, we don't need to be that big, guys. Yes, we can all make lean gains. We can lean. We don't need to be fat. We don't even need to be at high body weights relative to our stuff, you know. Jason, if you've been walking for 3 hours, close to. I mean, I took a break in there. My first walk started at 4:15. I had a break. It was 92 minutes. This one is now at an hour and 18. So we're going to pass 3 hours on this walk. Definitely doing that. So hopefully this live does a little bit better than those other middle ones. But, you know, it is what it is. We can't control all of that. But yeah, I'm past 2.5 hours. We're not at 3 hours yet. Not yet. We're getting there. We're moving in that direction. Give me some more likes, by the way, guys. We got all these comments. And I don't have beef with anybody. So I know Vegan Gains doesn't like me. I don't care. I don't have time to beef with people. I don't have energy to beef with people. I'm not putting that energy into any of it. I just don't want anything to do with him. Done. That's not beef. That's just leave me alone. I don't care about you. I got other stuff to worry about. Right? I've had people say certain stuff. Like, you had beef with this person. Like, no, I didn't. They made a bunch of videos about me. I never engaged them. Like, that's not a beef. You know, Coach, why do so many of these fitness influencers not promote cardio like you do? I don't know. Why aren't they promoting cardio like I do? They should be promoting cardio, right? They should be promoting deadlifts too. There you go. There's going to be my metric of if I know somebody is a fake. They don't promote heavy deadlifts and doing cardio. There's part of my criteria. Right? That's what they need to be promoting. So I don't know why they're not promoting it. Maybe they're scared of it. Maybe they're scared of losing their gains. Maybe they just rely on drugs instead of saying, hey, let's get out and be fit. Yep. No, I think cardio is great. And I mean, I'll be the first to say, look, we know that if we go with research only, yeah, weight training is slightly better for heart health when compared against cardio. But they have independent benefits. Okay. All right. If you really want to optimize health, you need to gain as much muscle as you can naturally. You need to do some cardio. Your saturated fat needs to be low. Your fiber and antioxidants need to be high. Unbelievably persistent. Hey coach, your client Ted who does MMA. No, I didn't say MMA. Who said MMA? Do you have him lift after 4 days up or lower and train him? No, I said he does BJJ and he does boxing. Nobody said MMA. Uncle says, are you fasting now? I generally don't eat till noon. Sometimes I eat as early as 11:15 or so, but usually noon. It's only 7:50 in the morning. So the answer is yes. We won't eat for at least probably 4 hours. I train fasted, I do cardio fasted. So yeah, I squat and deadlift fasted, then do cardio after. Coach, come on, BJJ and boxing. But no, MMA is a specific thing. All right, how long have you been walking for, coach? This round or total? The first walk was 92 minutes. I started at 4:15. This current one, we're at 82 minutes. There was a break in between with restroom break, a couple reels, a few posts, a cup of coffee in between those two. All right. That's right. Tell them, Peppermint. Tell them to hit like for coach. Get them likes up, guys. Keep those likes flowing. I don't know how long we're going to take this total walk, though. If you guys keep me entertained and the stream picks up, I might run it really long. How crazy would that be? We get into bonus cardio in the second walk of the day. This early. Is cardio better before or after lifting? Always after. Lifting should always be primary. Lifting first. Like even me, I do tons of cardio, but I do cardio after. So a normal lifting day for me, I lift, have a break in between. I'll do like a couple hours of lifts afterwards. All of that before breakfast. I get you. Do you have him train boxing BJJ on off days? Just, he does it wherever it fits in, man. All right. I appreciate that super chat, by the way, brother. Bion says, good morning. My dream is early retirement by 45 years old. Max, that is 3 years from now. What's your take on that? Man, first off, I appreciate the donation. Second, I mean, if you can pull it off, more power to you. But here's what I'm going to say. People who are that productive, talking about making that type of move, retire early, you don't ever really retire. You know that, right? You're still going to do something for money. But meaning you may not have to do a normal work. You probably going to have some little side investments, some other stuff going on. I definitely get more than 20,000 steps a day, Morgan. I had estimated it because I ran to check it. I don't use an app. About 8,000 an hour. I did 3.5 hours yesterday. That's what, about 36,000? No, what? I got to do the math in my head. Sorry. About 28,000 roughly. So we're at almost 3 hours. You know, so we figure that's already like what, about 24,000 steps. On nothing but black coffee. Again, I'm going to coach is lean. Coach is going to get lean. We're going to get that waist small, going to get good ab. We'll have a good V-taper. Walking after is great too, lowers the blood sugar from intense. Well, I wouldn't worry about the blood sugar lowering itself from it. It's just good for fitness. Do you get bored during it? No, that's why I stream. All my walks I either stream on YouTube or Facebook, so they're business. Their income, their outreach is engaging my audience. I get followers. So I do this, it keeps me entertained on top of being business. I can justify it as business time. No, I don't get any patellar fasciitis or anything like that. You'll be sporting a wearable next. I don't know. I know plenty of people who use them. I don't. Right? So we multitask with it. But this is going to be a super chat weekend. And I need to just keep going to see how this goes. Once I get one super chat, they sometimes just stream. I remember that's what happened yesterday. morning in that first one. And someone dropped one, and then someone dropped a 20, and it just kept rolling. Man, I need to just walk this out. Right? No, I mean, I know a lot of people who do the fitness wearables. I just don't really feel a need for one, you know, personally. I don't think they're lame. Jama, I don't know what you just wrote. I don't know what you just wrote. As far as the guy with the retirement question, I mean, I know, I mean, if you can pull it off, that's great, but you already know anyone who's retiring by 45 is business oriented. You're not really going to truly quit working. You're just probably not going to work for anybody else. You're probably still going to do something that's a side hustle just to make money and to stay busy no matter what. It just won't be super important to you. But if you can pull that off, that's a great place to be, man. I'm not going to say lucky man. I'm going to say well thought out. Probably put in some work if you pull that off. Morgan Powell says, can you what? Morgan, what do you keep deleting? You're making comments and deleting. What's going on? All right. We're now getting into bonus cardio though. See, the super chats make up for those streams that were just horrible right in the middle. I've been on TRT for 10 years. My blood work came back with high hemoglobin count around 18. Donate blood. Done. Go donate blood. Your doctor would have told you that. He probably should have offered a vivisection or just go tell you to donate blood. Problem solved. We're into bonus cardio right about this minute. So I think we just hit it. Thanks, coach. Gonna hit back and use deads for the first time and be sure to get some cardio after. Awesome. Felt quite appreciate the super. Thank you so much. Felt I have coaching slots open. If you need coaching with all of it, I got coaching slots open. Hit me up. My Facebook is linked under every video. I also do consultation calls. I'll be happy to help get you rolling. Coach, can SHBG be lowered naturally? Hypothetically, but why are you worried about it? Again, we come over to those sort of topics, you'll waste a whole lot of time for nothing. Just like worrying about your natural testosterone production is a dead end. So worrying about SHBG is an even bigger dead end. Because now we're going, can I free up some of the current testosterone I have? I mean, in theory, yes, eating more carbs. Higher carb intakes are associated with slight reductions in SHBG for evolutionary biology reasons in humans, right? The keto guys forget that point and they start talking about fat intake and testosterone, you know. But now you see where we come back to all these testosterone and hormone questions. They all still fall back to fundamentally, do you have a fit, healthy lifestyle and diet? That is always your answer. Right? It's always going to be the answer. Every single time. This dog keeps barking every time I walk by this part of the street. This is such a good end of my circle to make though. Yeah, we're definitely already into bonus cardio. 8 a.m. and we're in bonus cardio. I'll take that win. Alan says, what evolutionary reasons? Okay, this is beautiful. All right, I've heard this described by an evolutionary biologist. All right. When would you want your testosterone to be highest for survival of the species? Like, so when would you want sex drive to be highest? When you have plenty of food. So access to carbohydrate, significant enough carbohydrates to lower SHBG and the insulin response is indicative of times of plenty. That means, most likely, you're going to have energy to take care of a baby and to grow a baby and for a pregnant wife to not starve to death. Therefore, SHBG gets lowered by it, and the men and women's sex drive goes up. When carbohydrates get too low, it means we're in times of thin, because that's our primary fuel source as a species, like we're starch-based species. So when you can't get as many carbohydrates, it means you're in times of lean, times of less food, less access happening. Sex drive goes down in the men and the women. That's the prevailing theory with it. Thoughts on 3x2 for strength and size? No. It's too hard. It's really hard to gain size on a 3x3. I mean, you can do it to peak strength a little if you don't want to do singles. But 3x3 is a little harder. I'm not saying you can't do it. Be careful. Boo says, if I can lower my spending that I can't control, to be honest, wife with 3 kids, you know what I mean? Otherwise, retirement is easy, right? Fair enough. Atomic founder, morning coach with the Potomac. We in bonus cardio already at 8 o'clock. Thoughts on TRT daily microdosing? Seems to be overreaction. No, there's no evidence whatsoever that has any benefits. In fact, all the endocrinologists argue against it. I don't think there's evidence to support the idea at all. I love my 3-year-old. Well, Scott, I mean, you can do them. I'm just simply pointing that out. You know, be careful to not beat yourself up trying to do it when you could just be doing a little more rep work and do heavy singles to peak the strength. Just saying. I'm not saying I haven't done it, but it definitely, you take a bit of a beating if you're not careful. Doing 3x3s, you know. That's why I'm scared to throw 365 again on the bar right now with the squats where they are. Those work sets, I'm worried I'll hit 3s. But how much does the number of blood tests matter? Is how sensitive to androgens you are? What do you mean? What relevance? What are you talking about? How sensitive to androgens? I don't understand where you're going with that. No, I'm just saying that is purely a forum theory that endocrinologists disagree with based upon their data as far as stable blood levels with the microdosing. There really seems to be no point. Most development I got in my legs when I did 5x5. Not fair. Do the neighbors? Alan, I suppose it depends on the individual neighbor. So you're asking to every single one of my hundreds and hundreds of neighbors? No, I don't know. I guess you could go down the street calling them like some of my stalkers do. Some of them know, some of them follow me. I think a pretty sizable chunk of the neighborhood knows. Yep, we're still going. Some of them follow me. Some of them have started following me just because of the walks. And then the neighborhood group, and then I've chatted with some of them here and there. So, you know. Yeah, we're still going, man. We're past 3 hours now for the day. Yeah, I get along with all my neighbors. I don't have any problems with any of my neighbors. Right? And here's the thing, guys. We're not getting into bannable territory. Why are we asking about my private life? So, that is not fitness related. You're gone. Next. Just seems like insulin sensitivity, and we are insulin sensitive. Okay, but what does that have to do with testosterone? Why are you extrapolating discussions of insulin sensitivity with testosterone sensitivity and androgen sensitivity? Do you have any evidence for your hypothesis? Do you know any endocrinologists who literally have PhDs specializing in that field who agree with you? Okay, if you don't, then it's like we're just pulling stuff out of thin air at that point regarding drugs. Not wise. What minimum cardio do you recommend for a healthy body if food is under control? I mean, I think you need a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes 3 times a week. Finally seeing my lower abs pop through. Awesome, Gib. Awesome, man. Keep going with it. Keep going, man. Get leaner, brother. Says, what up? I'm doing good, man. Although this phone is down at 38%. But we're in bonus cardio. Does it even matter? Right? This is trying to keep up with the different times. I have to keep up with start time because we had the different streams on this one. So this walk is now 96 minutes. The first one was 92. Everyone's like, androgen sensitivity is a thing. It's like, okay. No one is saying there isn't such a thing as androgen sensitivity. What I'm saying is, do you have any actual medical doctors who specialize in endocrinology that agree with you that your injection and frequency is going to be important to this? Balls, tell me about your TRT regimen. No. Next. What I'm talking about is practical applications by people who are not getting this info from actual doctors who work with this stuff, even the ones who work with athletes and who care, right? We're just coming up with, here's the problem with it. Here's the problem with this idea, JC. You're creating a lot of extra work for yourself based upon an unsubstantiated hypothesis. No, we're talking about, so JC, did you not miss the entire topic that started the conversation? What do I think about microdosing TRT every single day? Was the entire topic that started the conversation. So, does he have any evidence whatsoever that going with microdosing and injecting himself every single day versus doing the standard protocol that his doctor prescribes is actually better for insulin sensitivity? Okay, do you see, you're like jumping off into left field and going off the topic. No one's saying androgen sensitivity isn't a thing. Okay, so do you see what I just said? The whole topic that started the conversation was talking about daily injections of TRT, microdosing, versus the sort of injections the doctor wants you to do. That's the entire topic that took us there. You don't pull one line 3 minutes out of a conversation and try to correct something when I'm over here saying he's pulling this out of his head. The whole microdosing thing is silly stuff from forums, and the medical doctors who specialize in the field think it's silly and they don't agree with it based on their own data and their patients and lab work. I don't buy into it. And my counter response is, okay, do you have data or doctors who work with this who are backing this idea? Because plenty of doctors are more than happy to even prescribe you higher than TRT. So it's the guys who care about it. There are plenty of doctors who are willing to help athletes too. So it doesn't make sense when you consider athlete. Exactly. I mean, that was the thing. I've seen endocrinologists counter this by saying, look, here's blood work of my patients who we did multiple blood work between injections. Once we get by their third shot, once every 14 days, their test level stays stable. Literally on 200 every 14 days, their blood work stays stable. There's no peaks and troughs anymore. And forums are like, oh, even once a week isn't enough. This every 2 weeks, oh, it crashes here. But then these doctors are showing, no, look, it doesn't. Like, here's one of my patients, here's him the day after injection, here's 7 days after, here's the day of right before the injection. He's stable. It's not the peaks and valleys you guys think it is. So I've seen an endocrinologist do that. So that's rather the point of some of that. I don't buy into this hypothesis because I've seen the doctors who work with, like, no, it's really not how it works. And they're endocrinologists. This is their area of expertise. And I'm not trying to appeal to authority, but there comes a point where you can't say, well, doctors don't know everything about drugs. Really, I think an endocrinologist who prescribes testosterone is a pretty reliable source of information about testosterone cypionate. I'm just saying. I don't know. I think that's a pretty valid source of information. He's probably a more viable source of information on testosterone cypionate in the body and its reactions and side effects than Jack Lifter Fury 420 on steroids.com. That's all I'm saying. You know, so if I'm going to go with the weight of evidence and the opinion, I'm going to probably place that endocrinologist who's showing the blood work of his patients, who specializes in the field, who works with testosterone and TRT and prescribes test SIP to 300 people and monitors their blood work and did his medical specialization in medical school in endocrinology. I'm just saying I think he's going to probably be a more valid source of information regarding testosterone cypionate than Jack Lifter Fury 420 from a forum. And I don't think that's an unreasonable position for me to take. You can feel free to disagree and say, well, doctors don't know everything. But then you find out Jack Lifter 420 digs ditches for a living. You know, and has a GED. I'm just saying. Where are you going to put your weight of evidence? Now, feel free to retort. If you think that I'm incorrect in that position. So, give a shout out to my friend. No, how about no? Done. All right. All racism auto ban. All sexually explicit auto ban. You guys know this already. Ain't gonna hear anything from me. I've got pharma. There you go. All right, cool, man. RMD. You know what though? Man, my phone is at almost 30%. This walk has been an hour and 43 minutes for the second one. Bro, we got a lot of cardio done. I still got room to do another session today if I want. I have to keep track of these minutes. There's gonna be a point where I don't even keep track of the minutes anymore today. Where are we even at? All right, 3 hours and 15 minutes. So, got a cardio machine. Plus, we got plenty of supers in this one. Coach will be on. I don't know if I'm gonna be on the bike later, if I'm gonna do another walk here later, or what I'm gonna do. Cardio bike. How do you decide when to wear a weight vest or not? Pretty simple. When I'm doing lower amounts of cardio, I was doing the weight vest. Now with the amount I'm doing and the fact that I'm in a deep cut and my low back doesn't always recover, we don't wear a vest. Very simple. When I know that literally the weight vest will interfere with my ability to lift, we're done with it. Very simple solution. So I haven't worn one in a while. I'm doing a really serious cut. We're like 16 pounds into this cut or something. So, you know, doing hours of cardio a day. I'm not wearing a weight vest for that. All right. But all of that being said, this cardio session has hit an hour and 50 minutes, I believe. Am I wrong? Am I right? I'm losing track. No, it's been an hour or whatever. Too many timers going. Close enough, guys. I'm home. I'm gonna wind it down. Love you guys. I'll try to do maybe another one later. But we're in bonus cardio already.